Welcome to another stage analysis video, Sunday the 18th of May 2025. Lots to get through as always. Going to start off with the weekend watchlist stocks this week. Lots of tight consolidations of stocks recovering in either stage 1, stage 2 areas at the moment. So GEV is a good example of this, where it's had a good run, attempting to make a continuation move. We go to the weekly chart on this, you can see made a stage 2 move back here 3 weeks ago, so starting to make a continuation and now tightening up again. So you see this 4 days of tight closes last week, but obviously near the top of the range we've got a bit, if you take off the double bottom, so lots of double bottom patterns have now formed, started to form cup patterns, and hence we could start developing handles. May not, we may push through, but there is some outside macro news that came after hours on Friday with the credit downgrade of the US, so unsure how that's going to affect the open at the moment on Monday and the coming trade through the week. Obviously, previous times it has had a negative impact, but every single time the market is obviously in a different position, so you can't take that for granted. All we can do is trade the price action in front of us. So from where we are at the moment, as we said with this, we've got some tight action in GEV here. If we go to the ATR band, you can see above the +2 ATR level from its 21-day moving average, so between the 2 and the 3 ATR levels, so it's in a strong short-term uptrend on the daily chart. So if we go to the weekly chart here, so zoom in a little bit, so you can see the run it had over the course of the last year since the IPO, pullback, failed little move down into stage 4 and then recovering back up into stage 2. So this is leading in the independent power and renewable energy producers group here, which has been a leading group over the last year or so. So Coinbase next up. So this one moving, it's come, I did highlight it last, just in this area here in the watch list before it broke out. So there was a little bit of a inverse head and shoulders pattern developing. We go down to the 195 minute chart, you can see that. So it made this nice little inverse head and shoulders pattern and then popped out strongly on volume. But then Friday's volume, as you can see, exceptional volume coming in on Friday's move, but that's because it was announced that it's going to be joining the S&P 500 as of Monday, and so the various tracking ETFs so have to buy positions in the stock that's coming in at the close. And if we go down to the 5 minute close on this, that's the 2 hour, let me get the 5 minute chart. You can see that final 10 minutes of the day when the institutional traders come in at the end of the day, the last 15 minutes generally, we got that really heavy volume as the ETF buyers needed to get in there. So that's the reason for the extreme volume there. As you can see, it didn't really make a huge move on the day. It was up +9%, but didn't manage to make a massive continuation breakout. We've got a little bit of a fish hook type move at the moment. So looking for this to continue on higher. So we come out again, as I said, from this little inverse head and shoulders and moving on. So from a weekly chart point of view on the website here, you can see starting to push back up, and now that is the highest close in the last quarter now, and above the 40-week moving average, etc. So starting to approach right on the stage 2 level here, with the stage analysis technical attribute score getting back up from a 2 to a 9 in the last few weeks here. So possibly if we follow through on Monday, then it would start moving into stage 2 here. PDYN, so this one with some tighter consolidation over the last few months here. It's been a very volatile stock for a while. So that volatility has got a little bit quieter. You can see with the ATR band starting to tighten up in here. We've got a little bit of a squeeze in that, but still obviously a very broad range in the bands there. So what, 68% there on the range, and in this pattern through here, the actual obviously latest structure, so a 38% range. So it has been tighter. generally in a 15% range for the last month or so. So just breaking out of the lower part of that structure back above the +1 ATR level there. So a little bit of a change of character going on, as you can see if I put on the band in the middle with the 1 ATR level. You can see it hasn't been above that +1 ATR level the entire time until Friday's close. So big move on Friday, plus 18.79%. But in terms of its general volatility, that's not a huge move for it. But in terms of recent moves, that is a fairly good move. So if we get a pullback into here, then we're looking for it to push up and out. Stage 2 level at the moment up around the $8 level. So looking for that to push out. So what are we looking at? PDYN. So you can see $8 level here for the stage 2 level at the moment. So at the moment, starter score of a 6. So you can see it improved from a weak 3 to a strong 6. So the lower end of the starter score here in the strong zone. So you want to see it continue to push through there as it moves up potentially into stage